Have you ever had that feeling that there is something deeper hidden in the things you see every day? What seems ordinary at first glance often holds such powerful meaning that it can change your view of everything around you. Imagine seeing the world with new eyes, as if a veil were lifted and the symbols and signs around you began to tell stories that you didn't even know existed before. Sounds intriguing, doesn't it? This video will reveal hidden truths, details that are hidden right in front of you. Get ready, because once you understand what will be shown here, nothing will ever be the same again. It's not just about learning something new. It's about awakening to a reality that has always been within your reach, but that no one has taught you to perceive. If this has already piqued your curiosity, take the opportunity to subscribe to the channel and activate notifications. That way, you won't miss any content that can transform your way of thinking and living. Since the dawn of humanity, symbols have been more than mere ornaments. They are keys to hidden knowledge, reserved for those who dare to see beyond the obvious. Think of the cross, the yin yang, or even the square and compass. Each carries centuries of wisdom embedded in its simplicity. These emblems have shaped cultures, guided empires, and most importantly, offered guidelines for personal growth. When you look at a symbol, it's not just the form that matters, but the energy it awakens. Why not start by identifying symbols in your everyday life and reflecting on what they can teach you? Great masters have always known that the true power of symbols lies in their ability to transform thoughts into actions. Imagine an individual who recognizes the light and dark on their journey as essential parts of balance. They use the symbol of the all-seeing eye, for example, as a constant reminder to be aware and vigilant about their own emotions and actions. This practice is not just philosophy. It is a practical tool for developing self-mastery. Start by using symbols as visual anchors, placing them in strategic locations to remind you of your wholeness and harmony. Another fascinating aspect is how symbols speak directly to the deepest part of our mind, the subconscious. Interpreting a symbol is not just a rational act. It activates emotions and intuitions that are often dormant. A circle can signify unity and continuity, while a straight line can inspire resilience and determination. Try observing the world around you with a closer look. There are symbols in the logos of the brands you wear, in the temples you visit, and even in the patterns of nature. They are always inviting us to a silent dialogue with our inner temple. By understanding symbols, one also realizes that they transcend the barriers of time and space. Think of the pyramids of Egypt or the mandalas of the East. Both are testaments to the pursuit of personal growth and self-knowledge for ages. Every detail, every proportion, carries a message of balance and wisdom. It is at this point that the power of the symbol connects with the construction of something greater, a journey that leads to the next teaching, where the building of an invisible temple becomes the center of the human experience. Since time immemorial, the figure of the builder has been used as a powerful metaphor for the human journey toward personal growth. Just as a mason patiently shapes each stone, each decision, thought, and action we take builds the invisible temple of our character. Think of each challenge in life as a tool: the square to align integrity, the compass to draw healthy boundaries, and the chisel to carve resilience. Every small gesture counts, and to ignore the details is to neglect the foundation of the inner temple. Freemasonry, for example, offers valuable lessons by using the act of building as a symbol of self-mastery and wisdom. It teaches that the builder does not just build walls, but also structures his mind and heart to withstand the storms of life. Consider how this applies to everyday life. When faced with a challenging situation, ask yourself what kind of person you are building with your choices. Instead of reacting impulsively, visualize yourself as the architect of your own harmony. But like any great project, building an inner temple requires discipline and patience. Imagine someone who practices meditation every day, even for 5 minutes. They are laying the foundation for peace of mind. Another example is the practice of self-awareness through writing. By recording thoughts and emotions, you refine your project. These actions are like the polished stones of a cathedral, each one essential to keeping the structure standing. The temple you build is only as great as the effort you put into it. The most fascinating thing is that, throughout this journey, the builder realizes that he does not work alone. There is an invisible connection between his actions and the universe around him. Just as a building is shaped by its surroundings, personal growth is also influenced by forces that we do not always clearly see. This is where the balance between light and darkness becomes essential, because every aspect of life, even the most difficult ones, is a crucial piece in the architecture of the soul. Life, at its core, is a delicate interplay of opposing forces that coexist to create harmony. Symbols like the square and compass illustrate this truth in a sublime way, teaching that integrity and balance are essential to navigating the complexities of existence. Think of the square as a reminder to align your thoughts with right actions, and the compass as the tool that draws the boundaries of what is essential. These principles challenge us to find balance, even when we are pulled by conflicting emotions or challenging circumstances. The enigmatic, all-seeing eye also points to a universal truth: consciousness. It reminds us that in order to achieve balance, we need to observe ourselves honestly. Imagine someone who is facing a turbulent day, juggling work, family, and self-care. If that person takes just a few minutes to reflect on their priorities and adjust their actions, they will be applying the principle of balance of forces to their practical life. This simple act can transform chaos into clarity, bringing harmony to moments of apparent disorder. Balance, however, is not synonymous with perfection. It requires flexibility, adaptability, and above all, resilience to embrace both the light and the dark on your journey. When something unexpected happens, such as a loss or failure, it is easy to feel like everything is falling apart. However, these situations can be seen as opportunities to adjust the inner square and redefine your values. This is when true personal growth occurs, revealing a strength that only emerges when we embrace opposites. When we reflect on these forces that shape our existence, we realize that balance is not something that can be achieved and maintained forever. It is a continuous dance. Just as a pendulum finds its resting point as it moves, we too constantly adjust between extremes. And it is this incessant search that leads us to explore the complementary roles of light and darkness in our journey of self-knowledge and transformation. Light and darkness are not only opposing forces, but inseparable companions on the journey of self-knowledge. One does not exist without the other, and both reveal deep layers of our essence. While light illuminates our talents, virtues, and potential, darkness invites us to face our fears, weaknesses, and shadows. It is in the encounter between these forces that we discover the integrity and resilience necessary for personal growth. Each challenge faced in the darkness is an opportunity to bring more light to the inner temple. Think of darkness as the night before dawn. It holds secrets and lessons that we often only understand when we face them head-on. For example, someone who is facing a difficult time, such as losing a job or ending a relationship, can find introspection to give them the strength to redefine their path. By accepting darkness as part of the process, they discover not only how to overcome it, but also how to transform pain into wisdom, reinforcing the balance between thought, emotion, and action. Light, on the other hand, inspires action and directs the expansion of our consciousness. Just as a candle lit in a dark room completely changes the atmosphere, small acts of positivity can dispel great shadows. A sincere smile, a word of support, or a moment of gratitude are like sparks that illuminate not only one's own life, but also those around us. This interplay between light and darkness reinforces the value of self-mastery, allowing emotions to be balanced with conscious thoughts and actions. Understanding the dance between light and darkness is essential to building a solid inner temple. Each of us carries these forces in unique proportions, and the secret lies in integrating them rather than denying them. When we recognize that even our shadows have a purpose, we open the way to deep self-knowledge. And as we walk this journey, we discover that true harmony arises from accepting who we are completely, preparing us to explore the pillars that support our essence: thought, emotion, and action. Thought, emotion, and action form the tripod that supports human development. Each of these pillars is interconnected, and the balance between them is essential to achieve self-mastery and inner harmony. When a thought is nourished by genuine emotions and manifests itself in coherent action, the result is a life aligned with purpose and integrity. However, a disconnect between these elements can generate internal conflicts and impulsive decisions that take us away from the path of personal growth. A practical example of this is when someone has the desire to change a habit, such as starting to meditate or exercise. If the thought is clear, but the emotion does not support it, such as lack of motivation or fear of failure, the actions will hardly follow. On the other hand, when connecting this desire with an inspiring emotion, such as the desire to live a more balanced life or improve health, the action becomes natural. It is like building an inner temple where each brick is aligned with the values that sustain life. Challenges arise when one of these pillars dominates the others. Overthinking without concrete actions can lead to stagnation, while uncontrolled emotions can generate impulsiveness. The key is to observe the interaction between these elements and adjust the dynamics whenever necessary. Imagine someone who reacts angrily to criticism at work. If that person practices conscious pause before acting, reflecting on the thought behind the emotion, they will have a greater chance of responding wisely, transforming the moment into a learning experience. As we explore the impact of thought, emotion, and action, we realize that they are more than just mechanisms. They are tools for building a meaningful life. When used in harmony, they become a path to self-knowledge and balance. This understanding prepares us to take a step further, exploring how this alignment contributes to building an inner sanctuary that reflects the values and principles we wish to leave as a legacy. The inner temple is the sacred space that each of us builds throughout our lives, not with stones or bricks, but with values, principles, and self-knowledge. It symbolizes the fortress where we find balance and resilience to face external challenges. Just as a physical temple requires solid foundations, the inner temple is built with clear thoughts, aligned emotions, and meaningful actions. Every choice we make is an essential piece in the construction of this invisible sanctuary, reflecting our light and shadows. Building this temple requires effort and discipline, but it also brings incomparable rewards. Imagine someone who begins to practice gratitude daily. This simple act strengthens the walls of this inner space, bringing harmony to everyday life. Likewise, integrating practices such as meditation, reading inspiring texts, or even moments of intentional silence help to deepen the connection with this temple. These are steps that not only strengthen the structure, but also expand its capacity to embrace wisdom and inner peace. Along the way, it is inevitable that we will encounter cracks, moments when our values are tested or our principles questioned. However, these difficulties are not signs of failure, but opportunities for renewal. When we reevaluate our choices and strengthen our sense of integrity, we transform these cracks into traces of beauty, like Japanese kintsugi, where broken pottery is repaired with gold, making it even more valuable. This process teaches us to honor both the light and the darkness within ourselves. The inner temple is not a final destination, but an ongoing project, constantly expanding and renewing itself. It reflects our legacy, what we leave to the world through our actions and presence. And by understanding the importance of caring for this inner space, we become true guardians of our essence, ready to explore how this sanctuary influences not only our lives, but also those of everyone around us. We've reached the end of this deep dive, but the journey has only just begun. Now that you have these powerful truths in your hands, the question remains, what will you do with them? The world will never be the same for you, and that's an extraordinary thing. Use this knowledge to build something great in your life. Ask yourself, what kind of legacy do I want to leave? How can I apply all of this to transform the way I think, feel, and act. Remember, applying this knowledge is what will make the difference. Maybe it's time to review your priorities, reevaluate the symbols that guide your decisions, and discover new ways to achieve balance and harmony. What can you start today? Write, meditate, study, but most of all, put it into practice. Now, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. That way, you'll continue to access content that challenges the way you see life and provides tools for your personal growth. I can't wait to see you in the next video, where we'll go even further on this transformative journey.